What is it? What is meant by garbage collection in C Sharp?
I don't know why, but everybody seems to love this question.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever gone on an interview where I didn't get a garbage collection question.
I was just thinking, in all the interviews I've done, every question before this, I don't think has been asked, to me at least.
Well, we're still at the basic level.
We're still at the basics, but this is the first one I think that someone might have actually asked me. Those other ones are good to know and important to know, but anyways.
Yeah, I get this one a lot. I've lost track of how many times I've gotten this question or something like it, some garbage collector question, which is a little crazy because most of us never actually interact with a garbage collector. But I guess what they're trying to get at is they want to make sure you understand, what the garbage collector is.
Okay.
And if you've ever worked in a language that didn't have a garbage collector, it becomes far more apparent. So like in C++, which does not have a garbage collector, when you're done with a variable, you have to destroy it to reclaim that space out of your RAM. C Sharp, we don't really know about that. When we create a variable,
or your RAM would just fill up.
Or your RAM would just fill up.
You'd be, yeah.
Well, that's what you hear this term. You might hear this one in an interview too. You hear somebody talk about a memory leak.
Oh yeah.
So what a memory leak was you would have a method that forgot to delete a variable.
Slowly fill your computer up.
As that method would run over and over and over, and it could be as simple as an int. But as it runs millions of times, it would just slowly. You could watch the amount of RAM the computer was using. It would just slowly kick upwards, over time.
Yeah.
And that would be what they call a memory leak. We don't really have traditional memory leaks in C Sharp. We do occasionally use the word memory leak, but we use it a little differently because we have a garbage collector, which, by the way, is one of the most incredible bit of programmings that Microsoft has ever done. It is an incredible piece of software. I try not to try and outsmart it.
Yeah.
What it does is it keeps track of all of our variables, where they're located in memory, and when a variable is no longer accessible, we don't need it anymore. The garbage collector runs behind us and reclaims that memory. It actually does a lot of other things too. It does condensing. So like if you use a variable here, here, and here, and we don't need the one in the middle anymore, it'll come back and tighten up the variables. Very similar to old school. Remember, we used to do, for those of you that are old enough, disk defragging, where you'd squish all the files together. Similar idea, it does it in memory.
Okay.
The garbage collector also doesn't work any harder than it really has to. So if you are on a system that has a lot of memory and you're not running low on memory, it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
It'll just sit back and wait. But when there starts to be contention for resources, it will clean up all of our memory for us. The bad news is when it does run, it can momentarily make a hiccup in the program where it stalls out for just a second. Because while the garbage collector is doing its magic, certain things can't be moving around.
Okay.
It's really hard to get visibility on the garbage collector here, but there is a method which you might get a question about.
So if I ran this up here, A and B are kind of done. Those would the garbage collector pick up and
after something had finished?
Yes.
Yeah, they would be no longer accessible. They would be out of scope, would be the technical term.
Right.
Once they're out of scope, they need to be destroyed.
And do we want to go into clearing it out quicker, or no? We don't care about that. We just know
I wouldn't. Now you can. There's an object.
We don't know when, but these are no longer important because once we did this, it's no longer important. We don't care about A or B anymore, especially once we get out of this.
Yeah, once you get out of something.
Eventually, the garbage collector will come and pick up A and B and destroy them.
Yeah. Now, it's not going to pick them up there.
No, but it will after that.
Even if the garbage collector ran right there after line 18, it still wouldn't destroy A and B because they're still technically accessible.
Okay.
But once you got kicked back out to line 11,
Mm-hmm.
they would be on the cutting board. A, B, and C from inside of
Yep.
there would all be on the cutting board. Um, we can go to line 11, and there is a function, and I almost hate to say it, called GC, capital G, capital C is the name of the class, .collect.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the kick to the garbage collector to tell it to go ahead and run.
But normally you wouldn't want to do that. It's
Normally you
only
wouldn't
specific
want to. Normally you don't want to. And matter of fact, I usually make a point of pointing that out in
to not do
interviews.
it.
I've gotten the question before. Can you? This is the question I've gotten.
Gotcha.
This is going to be the first question that has a second question. I've got a question before that says, "Can you force the garbage collector to run?"
Yes. Yeah.
And the answer is complicated. That's what I always tell them. Because you can call GC.Collect, which does not force the garbage collector to work. I always like to say nobody forces the garbage collector to do anything it doesn't want to do.
Right.
What it does is politely ask the garbage collector, hey, if you would please run. It can say no. It also means it's only asked that the garbage collector run. It doesn't mean run now. It might be run a second from now or a minute from now. It doesn't tell it you have to run now.
Right.
And it also may just say no.
Yeah.
you call GC.Collect and it's like okay, and then it just never runs.
Right.
Because it has its own.
Yeah.
There actually is there's some extra parameters you can pass on GC.Collect, and there's a new one they added that I think is literally called force.
Okay.
Which is supposed to force the garbage collector to run. I still don't know if it absolutely forces it to run.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we live in the garbage collector. We live in the garbage collector's world, not it lives in our world.
Yeah. Basically, the short answer is though you should probably never do anything with the garbage collector unless you are an absolute genius at garbage collecting, because you can actually make things worse.
So when they ask what is meant by garbage collecting, you just need to pretty much let them know that the garbage collector is to clean up and make sure that you're not having just your memory's not being taken up by all the pointer, all that stuff.
It manages your memory, so you don't have to.
Exactly. So.
Thank you for watching that video from F12 Programming. Please remember to like and subscribe. That does so much for us in the ratings. You have no idea. Also, don't forget to comment below. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck coding.